Hello, welcome to our channel for rprogramming. In this video, we will talk about environment and scoping rule in R. So what is R's environment system? Environment system, just like your computer's storing your files on your computer. So in R, in a session, in an actual session, I use environment system to store or create objects. So each object is located with an environment. And most of the objects usually are created in current or active session. So environment called global environment. And each environment has a parent environment. So if I want to use an object, I will first search from the current active environment. For example, it is a global environment. Then if the object is not found, then I will search its parent environment and so on. There is a hierarchy of the environment in our session system, and until the highest called empty environment. Next, we will show these operations in rstudio. So first we have to load library called pyr, because the function for the parent environment located in this package. So next we create two objects, very simple, vector 123 and vector 123 in character. Then we load ggplot2 for plotting, because we want to create object type plotting objects. Then we create data frame reading file from working directory. So this data frame, we just take a simple look with the working data. We do not need to know details of this data. We just know these are their objects. And we do some operation data management for this data frame. And we have loaded the ggplot2. So next we create an object for the ggplot2. So we create another object data frame called states, also reading files from working directory. So states data. Then we create fitted model for the linear regression. So this operation is done. Next, for example, we can use environment function to show the current environment. This is our global environment. And we can also use ls show the objects in this environment. This is the global environment. So these objects is connected with this environment. And if we say another environment called empty environment, we show no objects. And we can use a parenvs function to show hierarchy of the environment in current session. So you can see this is our global environment is the lowest level, and its parent environment is package car, because we loaded package car. And you can see ggplot2 rstudio, there are lots of environments connected with packages. And the highest, there are two. One is called base environment and one is empty environment. So this is the hierarchy of R's environment. So, but what's the importance of we have to know the environment? So environment, if you create a function, then you can from this function use another function which is created from its parent environment. So we show this is a simple function to sum two objects A and B. And this is another function to calculate the sum of two objects, then times one number n. So in this function, we refer to another function, right? This function is created in active environment for a global environment. But when R creates a function, it creates an environment associated with this function. And this environment is the child environment of the environment at which this function is created. So this means this function has an environment. And this environment is the child environment of the global environment. But in functions block, because this object is a function also, this function will be searched first from this block, but it's not created from this block, right? It is created from its parent environment. So this function can also be used inside this function. Now this is a very simple example, but you have to know in function, if you use another function, R will find from its parent environment first. Then we can call this function. It works. So next we will show more clearly of what's the environment inside a function. So we create a function called PARCHILD. So parent and child. And this function we have two input parameters A and B. Then we create a list. In this list, we show current environment of this function. And the parent.env will show this function environments in parent environment. We also show the objects in this current environment using ls.str function. So we create this function, then we call this function with parsing 1 and 2. So you can see this is the result of this list. So current environment is this number. So when you create a function, I will assign a random number for this function. This means this environment number. And its parent function is global function. And in this environment, function environment has two objects. And these two objects are local objects because parameters for function only exist in its local scope, right? So this is the basic functions and the basic knowledge of R's environmental system.